Hello again. I'm back for some more Philly Soul. I hope you are ready for that. It is Gordon Majak here, back with another episode of Timeless Pop, Rock, and Soul. Picking it up right where we left off there just a few minutes ago with that great track by the Stylistics, Stop, Look, and Listen to Your Heart. I identified that as sort of right there at the very beginning of that great Philly soul sound in 1971. That was a first in quite a string of huge hits that Stylistics had from working with the great Thom Bell. Well, not long after Thom Bell put together that great album for the Stylistics, he was off to do another great album for some other artists. Now, this was not a brand new group, unlike the Stylistics. Thom Bell produced that first album for them. This is a group that had already been around the block a few times. Back there in the old days when they were at Motown, they were known as the Detroit Spinners. But then they just became the Spinners. And in 1972, Thom Bell got together with the Spinners and once again co-wrote a song, I should say, which we're going to hear here in a second, I'll Be Around. Co-wrote the song, produced the album, and this was the first, here we go again, Thom Bell, he gets in the groove, man, and he goes with it. The first of four, I think what we call the classic Spinners albums there in the early to mid 70s. So Thom Bell struck gold once again with the Spinners. The Spinners took I'll Be Around all the way up to number 3 on the pop chart, number 1 on the R&B chart. This is from the summer of 1972, July of 1972. Man, this one was on the radio everywhere, and that would help explain the 1 million plus sold on the singles here for I'll Be Around. Pretty incredible. Now, just like the Stylistics, the backup band on this production is that outstanding, the great MFSB, sort of the house band there in the 70s for the Philly soul sound. And that means the great Norman Harris creating that signature guitar lick that kicks off this sound. And then for the Spinners, on the lead vocals, we have Bobby Smith handling the lead vocals, and you'll recognize his signature vocal sound as well. As I said, the Spinners took this one all the way up there to number 3 on the pop chart, number 1 on the R&B chart, and this was the first of many for them there in the early 70s. As I said, Thom Bell, 4 straight classic albums produced for the Spinners there in the early to mid 70s. Now, folks, this song just says it all for itself. I mean, you hear this guitar lick here, and it just, you're gone. It will take you straight away. It is such an iconic, legendary sound. They could have just repeated this opening lick there for about 3.5 minutes, and they still would have had a huge hit song. What a great track. And the vocals, the whole thing, that's what you get with Thom Bell. You get the great material, the great arrangements, the great production. The backup band is state-of-the-art there. As I said, the Sound of Philly MFSB band. You cannot beat those guys. A crack group all the way around. And you put the Spinners vocals on top, you got a huge hit. And more importantly than a one particular hit song is just an iconic sound. And this is as iconic as that Philly soul sound ever got from July of 1972. Check it out for the Spinners. There it is.
There's nowhere to go. just what to say. Now I found out today that all the words had slipped away. But I know there's always a chance. A tiny spark will remain, yeah. And sparks turn into flames. And love can burn once again. But I know you know, whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around.
Folks, I'm sorry, this rhythm track just smokes. This track is just so funky and rocks so hard. The drums and the percussion and the bass and the guitar and the piano. This thing is just, oh, God, what a track. What a great track. And then you put those vocals on top and it's just a little ridiculous. And this is such an iconic sound back there for the Spinners and Thom Bell. My goodness.
Whenever you call me, I'll be there. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Even if I have to crawl, I'll be there. I'll be around. Just call me alone. I'll be there. I'll never leave you alone. I'll be there. Just call her the name. I know you know. I'll be around. I'll be stepping around it. I'll be there. I'll be a rapping on. I'll be there. I'll be calling out your name to know. I'll be around.
Unbelievable. I wonder why they sold 1 million copies of that single. Are you kidding me? I think before they started rolling the tape, Thom Bell must have told that rhythm section, okay, fellas, rock it out, because that is just a rocking track. It almost sounds like the Chicago rhythm section, or it reminded me of almost like an Earth, Wind, and Fire rhythm section or something, where there's that rock element behind the soul and behind that funky groove. God, what a great track. And of course, that guitar hook that starts it all off, just iconic. And Thom Bell, did you hear the way he did the little call and response section there, where you get the strings playing that little line, and then the horns repeat it, and then the strings come back in and they repeat it, and then the horns repeat it again. And it's just like, who would even think of that? Yeah, you would think of having strings or having horns on the production. That's not that different. But the innovation to hear that whole sound stage of the instruments and where you can put everything in the mix and how you can sort of tell the musical story by doing something like that, by doing a call and response section between the orchestra and the brass. Just such an innovative sound and such an iconic, legendary sound. I keep using those same words over and over, and I'm sorry, folks. Go grab a dictionary and look it up, and then you'll see the picture of this. You'll see this album there with Thom Bell and the Spinners. I'll Be Around. Summer of 1972, man. That track just rocks. I'm sorry. And wait till you hear the next one, because you want to talk about, this is a whole separate subject. I should do a video about the unsung musicians, the unsung geniuses, the incredible musicians that played in some of these backup bands, whether it was in Motown, for the Funk Brothers in Motown that really never got quite their due in respect in their time, the Wrecking Crew out there in LA, this band MFSB there in Philadelphia. so many of these incredible backup musicians, studio musicians, session players that created these iconic parts and had the latitude with the producers to create these iconic rhythm section parts and these iconic arrangements. And we never even know who they were. All we know is that what they laid down is just solid gold. It just sounds incredible. And we're going to hear another one. We might have liftoff on this next one. This might be the mothership taken off here on the next one, because there is a rhythm track on this next video coming up. Well, the whole track is ridiculous. That's a whole nother subject. The vocals are just insane. The arrangement is ridiculous. The whole package is ridiculous. But the rhythm track, oh my goodness. Yeah, we're going to have... it's going to be one of those close encounters moments there, folks, with all the lights and the spaceship beeping and all that stuff. That's the next video. Boy, did I get off on a tangent there, but wait till you hear it and it will all make sense. Hope you dug the spinners. That guitar part, man, what a hook. And then, of course, well, no, I'm not even going to get into the spinners because I'm going to use that other one some other time. See you in the next video. I got to get the right gizmo here to turn this off. See you soon. Philly Soul Part 3 coming right up. Stylistics Part 1, Spinners Part 2, Part 3. Beggin' Teddy. That's all I'm going to say. Beggin' Teddy. You'll see.